Also, when we were doing the customer service stuff with the movers, every single time I sent them an email, they're like, we can't do that, but we'd be happy to discuss it on the phone. And I was like, sit yourself. I don't want to talk to you on the phone. Because on the phone, you know, first off, I can't see your mouth, so I have like a harder time understanding what you're saying to begin with because I only have like the audio to rely on. And secondly, I want all this in writing. How old are you that you want to take an email conversation to the phone? We're doing it all over email these days. I don't want to. You really think I want to call you and be like, give me a lot of money? No, I'd rather write it in text. Holy cow!
They're trying to slip you a Jimmy. They're gonna use bulldog tactics over the phone. Try to get you to agree to something.
What does slip you a Jimmy mean?
Like sneak something past you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think we've been listening to different music.
Oh, all right. Yo, speaking of, so I didn't tell you this. So my wife took me to see Weezer for Father's Day, and she had a couple comments. So the first, I'll tell you her comments after, but they walk out on stage. The first thing the lead singer of Weezer says, he grabs the microphone and screams, "Y'all ready to get wheezed?" I just didn't expect it out of Rivers Cuomo.
Oh man, that is great.
And my wife is like very kind, like doesn't say boo about anyone.
Oh yeah.
But he came out and she's like, "Man, he looks old." I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Yeah, she's like old." And then she hit me with, she's not a Weezer fan at all, but she's taken me to like 2 or 3 Weezer concerts. And wait, are you dead?
Yeah, I've been dead for like a minute and a half.
Oh. Hold on, I gotta dial then.
All right, one more back.
Yeah. So anyway, so she's taking me like a bunch of Weezer concerts, and then she just now. Oh shoot. Let me re-click. She just now told me, she's like, I think he has one of the least best singing voices of all time.
I mean, that's just rude. As much as I'm not a Weezer guy, still.
But like, do you agree? Like, I was trying to I always try to understand opposing viewpoints.
I mean, I don't think Rivers Cuomo is a great singer, but also I think that music that exists only because the person singing has a good voice is very boring. So that's not what I dislike about modern Weezer.
What do you dislike about modern Weezer?
I feel like after like the early 2000s, they were just rinsed. Like they didn't have anything else in the tank, but they kept making music. Like
what do you mean
it's
rinsed?
Like me doing like 7,000 Isaac videos after the Out of Obligation.
All right, real quick. One in chat if you would want to see 7,000 more Isaac videos from Ryan.
See, that's the problem. There's a lot of Weezer fans out there.
I know you're gonna say I always ask this, but I forget. How many hours have you put into Isaac?
Probably like 3,800, something like that. Plus whatever in first Isaac. Plus, I don't know, like 1,100 hours of Spider mod or whatever.
It's a lot of time. Can you send one more? Sorry, I squeaked it.
I don't even see you online anymore. I think that the Blue Album and Pinkerton are 2 seminal albums of the 1990s.
Okay.
Full stop. My distaste for modern Weezer doesn't take away from those albums. I listen to them all the time. I don't think that they have made a song with any form of artistic merit since 2001.
Okay. You have Spotify, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Look, when you're in the car, what do you listen to?
On the way to pick up my daughter, I might listen to something like Heaven or Las Vegas by the Cocteau Twins. Then as soon as I pick her up, it's they call her Jessie, the yodeling cowgirl, as dainty as a fairy, princess of the prairies. Yeah, she's Jessie. You get the idea.
Yeah. Okay. On the ride in, just listen to Weezer, SZNZ Summer. That's all I ask. And then if you call that not relevant, then I'll eat it.
Okay.
There's 4. It's like a 8-song album, and 4 of the songs are legit bangers.
I don't have an 8-song drive to daycare, but I can get through a couple. Okay. In all likelihood, it depends on how many car accidents I see on the way. But usually it's a lot, so you'll probably be good.
You stop and glance?
I would say I'm a non-glancer. I respect keeping the flow going.
You know what? I mean, not to be boomer, but you know what I saw on Facebook the other day?
Holy. It could be anything.
There was a picture of like zipper merging when driving. I said, right? What the heck is zipper merging? Do you know what that is?
Yeah, you instead of trying to merge at the first opportunity, you drive to the end of the merge lane and then sneak in right there.
But is that new tech?
I don't know if it's new tech. That's what in times of very heavy traffic, that's what I've been told is the best for the flow of traffic.
Do you zipper?
Well, it's an interesting question. Do I zipper? If I see it's all. I'm not saying this is the right thing to do. I'm saying it's the tragedy of the commons. I would love to zipper if I thought that when I got to the front, the person in the other lane would let me in. I've had so many situations where like I try to zipper and then the person who's supposed to let me in says, no, I want to be 1 foot in front of you. And as a result, I'm like, oh man, I should have merged when I had the opportunity earlier instead of waiting till the end. So I feel like I become that which I hate as a result of other people being selfish as well. So at first I'm a victim and then I'm a perpetrator of societal ills.
So when someone's trying to zip you, you don't let them in either, do you?
No, I let them in. I wouldn't say I'm a perfect driver. I think that's a little ridiculous, but I'm very accommodating. If someone is otherwise driving nicely and they're like, I want to get in here, I'm like, go ahead, brother. That's your, it's your right. You don't gain anything material by stopping someone from zipper merging. You're literally ahead of them by like less than 1 second.
but they're still ahead of you. Let me ask you this. Let me just paint a picture. Two lanes merging into one. Okay. You have like a good quarter mile. Most people are in the left lane. You got someone just blows by the entire lane on the right side to get over to the left at the very front of the line.
Yeah.
Do you semi nudge to block the right lane so that they can't? Just asking.
I might try to move my car so I'm not the person that has to let them in. But I always remember, so I was reading like r/Vancouver, and I'm not going to say I'm always the bigger man, okay? But I was reading r/Vancouver a couple years ago, and people were talking about like, oh, on the bridge, why do people let the lane skippers like in? You've got to stop them from getting in because they're being rewarded for lane skipping. And the top comment was like, it's always frustrating for me, but I just remind myself like all I'm doing is driving to get to my destination. And like, I just want to get there safely. And also, I don't know what they've got going on. I don't know if they're late for something insanely important, like they're on their way to the hospital or something otherwise that means they have to get there faster. So like, admittedly, it requires a great amount of like mental strength to be like, I'm gonna let this person in and not try to block them out and feel superior because they're taking advantage of the rules. But I try to remember that is like, you don't really lose anything by letting them in. By the way, you got to solo the boss to bring me back to life.
I'm not saying if this were the PUBG era, you would say that's a low T move, but I'm not saying that. Have you ever been the Zoomer?
I was the Zoomer on Friday. Because let me tell you how it went down, okay? We have to, in order to get to our campsite, we have to catch a ferry. The ferry leaves every hour, and you buy tickets in advance. The tickets are like $100 a person.
To get on a ferry?
It's like an hour and a half long ferry. So anyway,
does it come with popcorn?
You can buy food on board. This is not that relevant. What's relevant is that our tickets were for 8 a.m. and it's like, I don't know, a half-hour drive. So we leave at like 7:10, We think we're going to be there by 7:40. We'll have time to, like, it's not going to be an issue, right? I punch in the ferry terminal to navigation, and it says it's going to take us an hour and 5 minutes. And I said, okay, here we go. And then I was, the whole way there, I was zooming, and I was watching, like, the ETA. It was like 8 o'clock, 8:03, 7:55, 7:51, 8:02. And, like, every time I, like, changed lanes, it adjusted it by, like, 7 minutes. So I was freaking out. But then I got to a point where it was like, you have to cross into a tunnel to cross under a body of water, but only one lane was designated for the tunnel. So everybody was piled into the middle lane, so they were in the right spot for the tunnel. And I said, if I follow the rules, we're not going to make it. I zipped up the right lane as far as I could, and then squeezed into traffic. And it probably saved us like 15 to 20 minutes, and then we made it with 3 minutes to spare to get on the boat. And I made sure when I shoved my way into traffic, I hit my 4-ways and, like, waved to the cars around me, and I was like, I know, I'm an asshole. I'm an asshole. It was either that or, like, fuck up my whole weekend and lose the money from the ferry tickets, and, like, I had to make a decision in that case, and I did. I would not have liked to have made that decision, but I found myself forced to. But in a normal situation, if I'm just, like, driving and there's, like, a lot of traffic, no, I don't zoom, because I leave on time.
Chad, AITA.
I think I am the asshole, but I also think that nobody could blame me.
What's put on your 4-ways? What does that mean?
Your I don't know what you call them in America.
Emergency lights?
Yeah, that's like.
Oh, okay.
You know, I don't like to do the wave anymore because I feel like everybody's windows are so tinted they can't really see. So if I squeeze into traffic and the person behind me let me in, I always turn on my 4-ways for like 2 seconds just to say, I see what you did there, thank you so much.
Oh, that's new tech. I never heard of that.
Just to be like, but basically what, by the way, great job. Basically what I'm saying is, like, I didn't squeeze in. I recognize you made a choice to let me in, and I appreciate it.
I always give the wave, but light tech, that's like going above and beyond.
Well, how you getting light tech on somebody behind you, though? Or how you doing wave tech on somebody behind you, I should say.
I put my hand in the middle of the car, in between the seats, so they see it.
I feel like with the tint, you don't always see it, though.
Oh, I mean, my car's not murdered out as yours.
No, but like sometimes I'll be at a 4-way stop and somebody in like a murdered out Subaru with like black on black tint that's unseeable is like waving me through the 4-way, and I'm like, I can't see your hand, you idiot. Like, just go when you get to the 4-way. They're like, and then they're like, why is he not going? And I'm like, because nobody can see inside of your car, Dom Toretto.
All right, good fight.
Drives me crazy, man.